And just like that, Ethan and crew have taken down OpTic pretty handedly, I believe. There was the storyline I can look at least across Mirage. 16-7 would be the final scoreline. And then to try to break it down here on the Xfinity analyst desk, of course, I've got Jason Moses O'Toole and Halvor Gullestol.
I mean, that's actually the best you've done so far.
Oh my God!
You forgot my nickname though,
yeah.
So I mean,
yeah, Vendetta, whatever.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway,
He
point
was
being,
concentrating on the last name.
yeah, I had to give everything I had to that one because
I appreciate the
let's
effort.
be honest.
100% effort is all I ask for.
So just say it one time for the record.
Gullestol.
Yeah, I didn't do too bad. So with that being said, though, let's talk a little bit about this matchup. It is roughly 5 o'clock in the morning, Jason. What do you have to say about that matchup?
I mean, first of all, you have to say it did seem like at the top, at least, a battle of Config and Ethan. So fair play that we brought up that graphic before, but between the two season performances between those two guys, because they were kind of the heavy hitters for each team. I mean, first off the bat, you have to say quiet game out of Cajun B, and not just that. I mean, he actually, it was 7 for 19 with 37 ADR. Again, it's in this kind of a situation, it's not the frags, it's the low ADR that just shows you there's not a lot of consistent contribution across the rounds that were played. And then if you take it from there and you extrapolate OpTic, not just Cajun B, but on a team scale, not able to put any CT rounds on the board. That just shows problem with communication, with kind of organization on that CT side, the rotations you're pulling out, the theory crafting you've put into your preparation. So just tough all around for OpTic, and very good performance out of NRG.
I guess on a positive note for OpTic, that's kind of been a recurring theme for them. You know, the fact that they've not necessarily been as synchronized as you would have liked to see. It's like the same kind of patterns that keep coming through, regardless if it's the CT or T side actually. Yeah. So it's very evident where their issues lie. I think that's you know, positive to take out of the fact that you've lost 16-14, but you can identify things pretty easily. It's
not going to be Ethan or Config. When we gave that comparison, like you were talking about, so perhaps we just run these numbers one more time and see where these two players landed throughout the duration of this matchup. Obviously, the two highest in frags and then ADR, they're pretty similar. But in terms of what they brought to the team individually, talk to me a little bit about the differences there.
I mean, you can just see it right there. I mean, only one M4 kill for Config. The primary CT weapon is just gonna show you. I mean, no one did particularly good on that CT side for OpTic, based off the fact they got 0 rounds. So I don't think it really tells us too much. Both those guys had really good games. It's just about the supporting cast from there. I thought the interesting thing though is how bad OpTic gets beaten. I felt like Shazam in a lot of ways outperformed Zerk, yeah. And maybe not in terms of raw stats, in terms of kill death, but just out-dueling. He did a good job of neutralizing Zerk when he had the opportunities. A couple peeks out of Palace with that AWP to pick him off towards Ticket Booth. And that's very positive for an opera like Zerk that we've talked highly of throughout this season. Shazam being able to go toe-to-toe with him is pretty promising, and Shazam also has had an uptick in his performance ever since Misfits under Sean Gares, essentially. Probably the biggest, I don't want to say over-performance, but the biggest surprise performance would be someone like Daps, who had, what, 19 kills, I think we just saw there, including a 1 versus 2 in the pistol round, including, you know, 2 kills in a 2 versus 2 in one of the later gun rounds in that second half. So really good clutch performances from him as well.
Not the normal Daps that we're used to seeing, or that he's hailed for, so
he's living the high life of qualifying for playoffs. He's soaring in the clouds. He's having a really nice time, all the confidence. He's got Ethan just banging heads off so he can just relax.
Must be nice.
Yeah, and really just, you know, concentrate on his own game.
One might be saying that he's blazing the trail right now, but maybe not so much. How about we blaze it right on into Inferno? That's going to be our last map of the night here between OpTic and NRG. And if you guys keep smiling at me like that, I'm not sure how to react, but I'm sure there will be some sort of reaction. Now, this matchup, will it be as equal of a landslide? I mean, 16-7's pretty heavy.
I'm thinking it's going to be a little bit closer, but I still think this is going to be a comfortable win for NRG. I think there's too much irregularity in OpTic's play to actually have too much faith in them. Every time I look at that table and I like the standings, I get equally surprised by how far up OpTic are and how few losses they have in their column, because I don't think they've been playing well pretty much, you know, 85% of this season.
The North American region is very forgiving. We do only have 12 teams here, and we could probably drop it down to 10, and then so
yeah,
you know,
you're not wrong.
Slim it down a little bit, but I think the worrying sign for OpTic is if you're going to have a rough CT side on Mirage, you have to assume as an analyst they're going to have a rough CT side on Inferno, where that communication, information gathering, and the rotation to either one of the bomb sites is going to be super important still.
Yeah, much harder as well, because you don't necessarily have the shortcuts you have on Mirage in terms of kind of making up for bad calls from
And there's not
information.
emphasis on that mid control where your team is centralized and quick to each bomb site to begin with.
Or even down on Banana, where we've seen just a hellacious fight go on and see entire matches just get swooped in there because of that control on Banana that a certain CT side has dictated.
Yeah, no, definitely so. So it's going to be really important for OpTic to, obviously, in addition, have more people follow up on the performances from Shazam and Config, because we see that, you can stagger, as best as you can, pushes in Banana and whatnot. But if a team is just really committed to actually pushing you down, all they need is that one kill. There's a limit to how many, Config can't get a 4K or 3K every single time to actually maintain control of a bomb.
You say that.
I say that.
He's damn sure going to try.
Kind of hoping, kind of hoping that we will see it.
We did see him get like 45 kills in one regulation
Yeah, versus
game.
Renegades. That is
So
true.
that's a
Maybe
lot
that's
of
going to happen
triple kills,
again. OpTic definitely would need it.
So how about this? Who's going to win the match?
NRG.
I'm switching NRG as well.
Wow, guys.
Abandoned ship.
I think after that showing, it's only fair. 16-7 is a pretty one-sided seesaw, if you will. But ultimately, we do have to watch. Yeah, it's a one-sided seesaw. That means there's just one person on it.
I get it.
Get out of here, Jason. Let's go with, it's time to give it over to the guys that are just living it up in here. They just got a fire lit underneath them. And we're going to Inferno, so how fitting is it that I toss it over to Harold and Jacob?
Is that because of the orange hair?
Yeah, I didn't even have to say it. It was perfect.
The jokes write themselves, don't they?
I can't even make this
Yeah,
up.
no, dude, that was good. That was good. You've been on fire today, man.
You're on fire every day.
Yeah, well, it's an experience.
It's genetic.
Yeah, it is.
This is
All right, see you guys.
Yeah. Well, I'm feeling particularly soulless right now as we head into the last map of the night. OpTic versus NRG. And, we just had a belter of a game. NRG winning out over on Mirage. Now we head to Inferno, one of the most played maps this season.
You start to hate to see it, basically. It's every single day. We play it 3 times a day.
Yeah, Inferno is the new nuke.
It's not the new nuke.
I wouldn't say that's true.
No,
Nuke is awful.
it's sort of like the new Mirage.
That's actually one thing I love the NA guys about. They only played it once, so thank God. I hate having to see that map.
I like Nuke. I like Nuke.
I don't.
I like diversity. I like a lot of different maps being played out.
I did like it, but it's just like my issue is because you have to throw those outside smokes every round, or else your game's basically over. Because then they just know where you're going to go. They haven't thrown the outside smokes, so now it's either ramp or inside, right? And it's so easy. And I just hate that idea that if you don't throw these smokes, you can't do well on the T side. RIP. You tried, but
somehow true, I guess. Let's not talk about Nuke, though.
Yeah,
We're going into Inferno. We have NRG starting on the T side, OpTic on the CT side, and the analysis guys, we're right. We're going to see OpTic Gaming and especially Config being super, super aggressive over here on the B bomb side, Banana, and there we go. Starting off the game, Config dinging down Ethan, getting a frag as well. Stanislaw following up one and Breeze, as we see Config laying down death here. And looking at the corpse, I don't know why we're doing that, but he's dead. It's a 3 versus 3 scenario. Shazam is coming in with a big and fast flank right now. It's a very fast-paced pistol round, and you love to see that. Ethan not getting the frag on Shazam. That leaves Fugly in the open. He can't get the bomb down, and that means that he has to get the frag on Gate, and he does that. Now, they know where those guys are, and they try to rotate over, but they are not giving them any room to work with. Shazam bringing down Fugly. It's only Depths in a 1 versus 2 scenario against Cajun and Shazam. I don't see him winning this one. He's trying desperately to finding a frag right here, pre-firing around the corners. He has a Glock against 2 USPs, or 1 USP and a CC. So it's going to be a tough one for Depths. He's trying to figure out where they went, and now moving around the map, anxiously about where they are. He's being brought down to 66 HP. Now Cajun is moving in towards close him, and there we go. Depths hitting the first one, as you say. Now it's only 1 more left. It is Cajun, and there's 42 seconds left, so this is more than doable. And it's getting one of those scenarios where if they just keep walking around each other, it's going to be more up to the luck. Now Cajun is flanking. Depths not getting the frag, and he gets dinged. Cajun on 1 HP, and Depths gets it. That's absolutely insane. He had a very great first map on Mirage. He was winning a lot of duels, and very atypical Depths were actually a big factor of them winning. And now here bringing in the first pistol round as well against OpTic Gaming. Cajun, that was not pretty. You should have finished Depths right there in the beginning when you have him in the back. You didn't, and Depths just show you who is the big boss in this one.
Yeah, he is indeed. That was... I really don't think, the way that he played that was so picture perfect as well. The ability to isolate those 2 players into 2 separate one-on-ones, from his point of view, was so good. Because you saw they were just holding originally, waiting, in the knowledge that if he walks out that door, they just double peek into him and then they win. They just trade. But he goes ahead and gets it done. Daps, who knew? He had it in him to pull off a fantastic 1v2 and lock in the pistol round for NRG. He's been fragging today. And that, as you said, it isn't something that's typically associated with Daps. He has been looking phenomenal in the last few games. Here we go. This round, going to be a man advantage picked up for NRG. No surprises there. But these CZs, the armor, Config already claiming 1 life. We know how deadly these Danes can be. Cajun, how's he been able to win that out? He's going to go back for more. Now he's finally punished for it by Cirque with that Mac 10. And Daps kind of hanging around. I think he wants to deny them picking up any of these rifles. It was Config who found a kill down here towards the base of Banana. But now they've both rotated into the A-bomb site, which, you know, you understand why they took the gamble. With the frags going the way of apartments, they try to beat NRG to it. The only issue is NRG, they've rotated up towards B. Going to be 3 versus 2 in the afterplant. NRG probably feeling quite confident in this round. Just Config and Stan left.
They should be feeling confidence. Now Depps bringing down the bump. Breeze getting the first frag on Config, leaves it all up to Stanislaw. He has a P250, no armor. Getting the first frag on Cirque right there. That was a nice little one. Still in a 1 versus 2, and he has 2 different guys to look out for. And it's going to be a crossfire that is going to bring Stanislaw down in just about 2 seconds from now on, I'd say. Nope, stays alive. And there we go. Depps bring him down. Great start for NRG again, winning the pistol, winning the following anti-eco round, and Depps sitting on 5 frags. You know, that's one of the guys you don't want to get too fired up. He had a great Mirage game, putting in, I think it was 18 frags and 18-11 score, which is pretty significant for a guy like Depps, especially considering he is the in-game leader, and he's not really meant to be fragging a lot. I like to refer to him as a sort of like an MSL type, in terms of like maybe even being a little bit worse off skill-wise, but definitely sets up his team for success and know how to utilize his player. Now OpTic trying to be aggressive, Stanislaw running down in middle and just dying for no cause whatsoever. And it's not looking good for them. I feel like OpTic, again, you know, when they're not winning the duels, when they're not getting off to a good start, it's not a team that you can think, okay, they have a backup plan, they have a strat, you know, or a way of playing the game, or a way of approaching the game that is very stable and very organized in a way where you know what to expect. It's basically, if they don't win duels, they lose, and if they lose, it looks ugly in that way.
Yeah, you know, would you say it's kind of the biggest shortcoming of this OpTic gaming roster? You know, they have so much potential, but it all comes down to the duels with these guys, it feels like.
But what is potential worth if all you're ever going to do is win some games and then lose some games, and then win some games and then lose some games? If you can't consistently string together a lot of wins, then it can't be too fun to play Counter-Strike, can it?
No, that's very true, Pip. You know, you were I'll ask you the big question, and you provided the answers for us. So, very true for OpTic. Now, they're going to be rotating these 3 players into A. Breezy's heard everything. They've only got vanilla pistols. You imagine they all die in a blaze of glory. Maybe not even just in a blaze. you could drop the glory as Cirque. There you go. 3 kills for him. $1,800 farmed up on the Mac 10. The AWPer for NRG. He's going to be feeling happy about that. He can invest into that in this round. Although, you know, based on his previous habits, I don't see him going for it. You know, just going to keep the Mac 10. I think that's quite likely. Take the bonus round. They looked pretty proficient at it in the past whenever they've gone for it, and that's what they're going to do. If
I were OpTic, I'd be so ready for a fast B execute or fast mid execute now. They know they had 2 Mac 10s, and they know there's a possibility of them saving them. So there we go. Gate going down middle and actually bringing the fight to them. Once again, I'm not sure I like this play from OpTic. There's no reason to do it. Being brought down by the Mac 10. That's not too good. Shazam getting the refrag. And hitting the second one as well as Fuckley. That was a nice shot. Third one as well from Shazam, picking down Cirque. That was actually very well played. I didn't initially like the idea from OpTic right here, sending down Gate. It didn't really work out, but Shazam found a way to pick up for the lost guy. Now, Cajun exposing him a little bit in a scenario where it is a 4 versus 2. I'm not sure why he's so aggressive. Instead of just falling back, he gives Breeze a chance right here. Bring him down, though. The timing is on Cajun's side, and now it's all up to Nath. 1 versus 4 on Inferno. Has the bomb, though. All utility to work with. 52 HP. Doesn't really look like it's possible at all. If OpTic are clever, they're just going to set up in 2 crossfire setups. You can see it already now on your screens, left side on the radar. They're set up, and there's literally no way they can lose this one by now. It requires something out of his mind from Nathan. Ethan. And there we go. Config brings him down. First time we see OpTic showing off. First time we see them do something good. All up to Shazam right there, getting 3 very nice frags in middle. I think we're going to see them in a second again, because that really solved the round for them. I didn't initially like the idea of going down aggressively. We saw them in Mirage as well. They kept bringing the fight to them instead of just waiting for them on the CT side, and didn't really work out for them. So try to ease up with the aggression. Let Config be aggressive if that's what he wants to be, and then the rest of you guys, be the stable players, be the rocks of the team, and then see if that's enough to hold up these NRG guys.
Well, that previous round was the bonus, so they've got another buy on the cards here. And, ooh, Gade, that's a big mistake to make. Caught with an 8 out on the stairs. Not what you want to see. And really not how you'd expect to lose a man early on, I think, if you're OpTic. Now, NRG, they can afford to apply their brakes and now just look to slow things down. And you can see, you can see the effect this has had. Config's had to rotate over from the B-bomb site. Stan now stands here all on his lonesome. Not really the ideal anchor either to have in this scenario when you look at it. I mean, he only with 1 smoke and a flash doesn't even have an incendiary to slow down any sort of play. And it looks like they're going to try and fake pass now. Config, ooh, only manages 1. Shazam's going to trade back. He's been on point at least. But now we see Stan. Can he keep these 3 players at bay? Somehow he's able to win that first fight versus Daps. It's going to be 2-on-2. So a good recovery, all things considered, from OpTic, but the uphill battle will continue, and Shazam peeking around the corner, going to lose out to Cirque, leaving this on Cajun B. He had a weak Mirage. That was something that we both picked up on. And now, he has to try and get his act together. Sadly, he won't. Ethan's going to go ahead and take his head off, so NRG, they move up 4-1. And they've reset the economy of OpTic.
This is about the worst possible start OpTic could get to this game. They do win the first buy round, but they end up losing a lot of guys in the process. Now coming into this round number 6, they don't have any money, which means they are forced to buy conservatively. Config without anything on him, just a USP. Some other guys with a CC and a few nades, but that's it. OpTic can't invest too much into this round, and that means NRG, if they play this correctly and if they manage to utilize the advantages they have and bring this into another round win for them, they will go up 5-1 on Inferno. And we have seen today, and we have seen overall, I'd say in Pro League, that the CT side has been pretty solid from pretty much all teams. That's where we see the biggest result being brought in. So it's not a good start to go down 5-1. That said, though, we saw the same thing on Mirage. It was OpTic getting off to a very good start, leading 6-3, and then all of a sudden NRG started to pick up on their CT side. So it's definitely doable, but for now, I'd say NRG looks like a team in full control, and that's if you compare them to OpTic directly, it just feels like they have this extra layer, as we talked about. They can fall back and play this tactical, strategical game where they have a plan, they have the nades set for whatever they want to do, and they have an idea of what they want to do. Whereas OpTic, they go for the duels and they just take it, as it happens. It's not the way it's working for NRG right now. They're playing structured, they're playing Counter-Strike as it should be played as a team, and you can see the direct result of it. They're about to go up 5-1 against OpTic.
Yeah, so I am curious, just to highlight it. You obviously know a lot of these OpTic guys pretty well. What would you say is of this team composition of these guys? What would be their one biggest strength that could win them a game, but then also the one biggest weakness that could easily see them lose a game? I mean,
the biggest strength is Config and the way he plays Counter-Strike. I think having a Config on your team should be something all teams in the world should strive towards. The thing is, there's only one Config in the world, so OpTic is very lucky to have him. The problem I see is the way that they're trying to play like Config. They're trying to build the team around like Config and play like he does, very aggressively and all that kind of stuff. Where in reality, you don't need to do that. You need to have a very structured team behind you. This is Stanislaw trying to pick up a frag right here. You need to have a very structured team behind Config, so he can do the aggressive plays. Get the 1 or 2 frags and then fall back, or get 1 frag and then die, and then have something to fall back on. Whereas if Config goes aggressively, then Stanislaw goes aggressively, then Gate all of a sudden dies in the apartments. Then everyone is sort of like taking the duels at all times, and if you don't win them, you lose, and that's why there's never going to be any sort of consistency on OpTic unless they all of a sudden find a level where they're just superior in terms of individual skill compared to all teams, and that's just not Counter-Strike these days. So I think that's the biggest mistake, and I'm not thinking a player like Cajun, for example, is liking this tendency, See Cirque going up quickly in middle, trying to find a frag. It is just an identity problem, and I think they need to solve that as quick as possible.
Yeah, an identity crisis, you might call it, within this OpTic gaming roster.
We all had them.
Config gets burnt forward. He's able to win that fight somehow. Daps isn't ready for it. somehow a second. I mean, that... No clue how he's able to find both of them. 2 players there. And he's already burned down to 39 HP. He manages to get out alive with 2 kills and an AK picked up. So, you know, just as you highlighted him as you know, the defining point of this OpTic Gaming roster, he does deliver in a big way. NRG now 2 men down. Going to be grouping up on Banana to try and hit this B-bomb site. They want the site. They want revenge for Ethan and Daps. And they might be able to get it. They've got plenty of utility. They haven't thrown any of this out, actually. They've done a good job of conserving it, all things considered. And when you look at the utility balance of Config and of Stan, you can see they've got that one smoke that's just been thrown out now, but that is it. No Molotov to delay the push from NRG. So NRG going to line up these smokes, flashes, Molotovs. They have the full 9 yards. They're going to go for it. Throwing these out, 25 seconds on the clock. They have to go running through this smoke. It's going to start to dissipate as they go in, but there's only one man, and that's the bomb leading the way. Fugly's going to go down, and that's the bomb drop. This round is a disaster. Config still taking heads off. 9 HP, 4 big kills, and OpTic Gaming lock themselves in a second round. Could this be the awakening for Config?
It's definitely the awakening for Config. Whatever it's the awakening for OpTic, we'll have to see. These 2 first frags, they're great. You know, he gets a fine flash right here, gets the first frag. That's fairly easy. The second one, though, a little bit of a misplay right here. Ethan should have Config right here. It's a fail, to say the least, you know, to use a good old word in that sense. But it happens, and Config is just one of those guys where you can't really fail to watch, you know, because he takes your entire arm if you give him a finger, and he did that, getting 2 additional frag to end off the round as well. So great play by Config. And putting some pressure on NRG now. They don't have too much money. They did decide to buy up Fugly just on a Glock, so that means they invested all into this like Superman setup where they have 3 rifles, or 2 rifles and an AVP, and then they have 2 guys with only a CC and Fugly with basically nothing. I don't know if that's a mistake that he didn't buy a CC and an armor. It must have been somehow, but at least they opted to go for the force because they think they can still put pressure onto OpTic. Their money is not too good either. So could they win this one back straight away, then it will be instantly reversed and it will be OpTic sitting on the back heels. That said, though, seems like they have found a compromise to this constant aggression. You know, they're sitting back on the sides now, especially Config over here on the B-bomb side, getting another frag. He's been having the last 5 kills in the game, going down here to Daps now, all up to Stanislaw to defend his side, and he can't do that. It's just not enough, you know. A 3 versus 3 scenario on B-bomb side Inferno, that's always favorable towards the T side unless they have 1 HP off them, basically. There's so many angles you have to take, so many corners, so many boxes, so it's going to be a tough one for OpTic right here. They do have utility, 2 Molotovs, smokes and flashes, so they can burn out a lot of NRG players. Going to be interesting to see how they decide to use their utility.
And the smoke going to come in handy late round as well for the 2 players that are currently down on Banana. They throw out one of these Molotovs over onto Quad. That's going to now force Breezy back. He's moved into the dark. Able to find one. Fugly does fall on Banana. Breezy trying to buy time, and there's no time left. Already this round's all said and done. Breezy going to go to put the final nail in the coffin. Shazam is to retreat away, and NRG, they might lose everyone, but they're on to a 6th round. And once again, OpTic's economy is looking pretty dire. They could justify going for a buy here, especially when you think about how much damage they just did.
That was a horrible retake. That was an absolute horrible retake. You had 2 Molotovs, you had 4 flashes, and you had a smoke. And you somehow managed to do absolutely nothing with the nades. Fair enough, you throw a Molotov towards the 3rd box and he's not there. Then Cajun fails his Molotov towards the corner or back side, so he doesn't get pushed out. So there's just a lot of mistakes and a lot of misplays right there from OpTic. They could have won that one, especially considering the utility. So a big no-no for OpTic. And now, again, as we said, you know, putting a lot of pressure on them right now. They have to force up on this one. They have 2 AVPs now, Config, one of them, and they have an SMG and a rifle on Cajun B. Config again getting the first frag. He's been dominating this area, so if I were NRG, I would probably stop going up there, you know, and just exploit the fact that a bomb side hasn't looked too strong either this game.
I mean, you say he's been dominating Banana. He's found the opening kill there a couple of times, and he had that one big round recently, but yeah, it's felt like it's been a bit hit and miss. NRG, you know, they've taken B a fair few times as well. But this round does look different. Config winning the opening duel. This time there's no instant trades. No one was in position to do so. So their hands have somewhat been forced out towards A. They're going to go running blissfully into Cajun B and Shazam. And Shazam on this AWP, every time they come A, he tears them apart. Cirque is left all on his lonesome, down in CT. And with Stan clearing out all the bottom mid up. Whoa, that is a belter of a shot onto Config. I was not ready for that one bit, Cirque. Okay, now you feel like maybe he's in with a shot. 1v3. A rotation coming in from Stan. He's got 30 seconds. He has to clear out this site. Now, we know it's clear, but he does not. He's no such luxury of the X-ray. Stan's going to hear this bomb go down. He can hear the footsteps as well. Does he go for a peek or does he wait for his teammates? He's going to look to wait for the rest of the team to come rotating in. So this gives Cirque some time. Stan spotted him there on the cross, so they know he headed towards the ruins. He's just been spotted out, and the Molotov's now going to burn Stan into the open. To Cirque takes that one-on-one, and that's a fight that Stanislaw did not need to go into. Smoke goes down, and Cirque's onto a third. There is absolutely no way that this man is able to get away with this. He has been unreal. And right now, Gade's tapped on the bomb. Cirque has to go back. Gade's just holding it. Gade's going to get away with the defuse, picks it up at the very end. But it comes down to the wire, and that was Gade's first kill of the game. What a time for him to man on up and actually get into this match.
That was super, 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 super ugly from OpTic. Config can't do anything about Cirque hitting that insane shot, but I don't know what the hell Stanislaw is doing. He should just have waited for his teammates. No reason to seek that duel. Stay alive, wait for your teammates. You know where he is even. So if you're three guys going in against one guy, you know where he is, then there's no way you're losing that one. So not sure what happened right there for OpTic. Gate, a little bit lucky with getting that diffuse. Cirque, didn't really commit to it straight away. Well played by Gate. Obviously, very high impact frag. You could say he only has one, that's true, but it gifted them the third round of the game. So very important for them. OpTic they're not playing beautiful Counter-Strike now. They're doing a lot of silly mistakes, and I mean, Amapet, their coach right now, must be a little bit sad about watching this OpTic play, because as we talked about so many times, the individual skills on the team, the potential is on the team, the characters and the role players are technically on the team as well. They're just not using them right now accordingly, and they're making a lot of silly mistakes. This time around didn't cost them the round.
That was a nice 2K in from Stan. Config now trying to stay alive. He has to buy time. He buys enough for Shazam to get in a position. That's Ethan dropped, and now it is just Daps. Now this is a 1v3 that should be impossible. We saw Cirque get so close, and Daps, I mean, he's had his fair share of clutches tonight. He's in multiple 1v2s, but with only a MAC-10 and a CZ, you imagine this is the round that OpTic are able to find. Daps going to isolate Shazam into a one-on-one. Oh, no. He's landed the first kill. He's only got a MAC-10. He used his one flash just now, throwing it out towards CT. There's a man on the bomb once again. It's going to be Gade, and he just sticks it. So Daps not able to get the AWP either. Only carries the MAC-10 out of that round. That's a bit disappointing there. Would have loved to have seen him grab the AWP. But it was this from Stan. I mean, it doesn't get more lucky than that. 2 kills in through the smoke as they come running in.
Absolutely ridiculous. That has nothing to do with skill. That's pure luck by Stan, but that's what they needed right now, OpTic, They needed some luck to get this one started. Now, they picked up a second round in a row, which means that we, for the first time, see NRG in a full save here. Only buying up a few CCs and Deagles. So, a great opportunity for OpTic to get into this game, bring on the 5th round on the board. And as said before, it's kind of like the same scenario as with Mirage. Both teams are still in it. As we see, Gate may be able to pick up his second frag of the game. Not yet, though. It is Cajun bringing up the third one right here as well on Ethan, which means that this effectivity has been shut down already. Cirque is still alive, trying to find Stanislaw right here. He's staying alive. He is going to have some backup from no one, actually. So he has to hold up by himself. He is able to do that. In the beginning, Cirque brings him down, but he's being brought down to 19 HP, which means it's only him in another 1 versus 3 scenario. We've seen this before, I feel. It was close to happen before, but this time around, I do not believe it. Cirque, you have to do something out of your mind to make this one work as well. Does not help you to die against Config. Now, finally, we see OpTic bringing in some rounds in a row. That would be the 3rd one for them, which puts them to 6-5, which means they are not really building up a bank because they're losing a lot of guys in these NGs, which is a shame for them, but they're building up some momentum and some belief in this game. And 5 rounds on the CT side Inferno against 6. It's not too bad. It's not too good either. But NRG are finally getting a fight on their hands right now. They need to figure out how to stop this Config from ruling B banana side, and they also need to stop Shazam from getting these first picks in middle. And that has been the big problems thus far in the game. Now Stanislaw being super, super aggressive again. Ethan probably not aware of that, and that is a good position for him to be in right now. Stanislaw should be able to hold this banana area. Now, Gate inside this app area once again. We've seen him die a few times, so I'm surprised that he keeps doing it, but I think he may have hurt me because he's falling back now towards this A bomb side and not really taking the fights anymore. I do feel OpTic, you know, and there we go with Ethan. He's just too smart for that. He's just too smart for that. I do feel though OpTic works best when they, you know, are just letting config about being the aggressive one and then, you know, falling back because they have some very solid players in Cajun, in Gate, and Shazam, you know, defensive solid players. So there's no reason for you guys to be constantly aggressive and feel that you have to help config in that scenario. It's let config do config and then, you know, help yourself to win the game.
Oh, here we go. We have to see
Now
if,
it's config alone on this B bomb side.
Yeah, we have to see if config can do config right now. Oh, he certainly can. 2 kills, that's it. Does finally go down. But he's turned the tide in this round. 3 on 3. If he'd fallen at the first hurdle, it would have been a very, very different situation. But it's Breezy on this flank that makes such a big difference. He's cut off Cajun B. Now, on the upside, at least, now these 2 players over towards the B-bomb site can take this 2 on 2. It's only a brief shot that they have because the rotations now come in from Breezy. That's just dispatches of Shazam. Makes that look easy. Gade, he's able to get 1. You imagine that's it. This looks like it could be all... I mean, surely he doesn't get another one where he just holds the defuse. He's got... I was going to say, that would have been his 3rd today. So, yeah, no, he gets shut down. NRG move on to a 7th. And, you know, I mean, we kind of said how it was good. Like, you know, they started to net a few rounds here and there, but they were kept very modest. And that's been a real issue because now they're out of money once again. And just going to have to see OpTic go for the eco into this one. But, yeah, I mean, I have to agree. You know, Config's strength comes from his ability to play as that solo entity. You know, someone who is very aggressive, and then he has the supporting cast around him, right? But it does feel like they're gearing up the rest of the team to play that Config style. Oh, he's not burning. Look at him. How is this a thing? Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't play into the round at all.
It really doesn't. A quick one right here for NRG. And as you said, the problem for OpTic is the fact that they haven't been able to convert the rounds. They've been able to convert them into round wins, which is for first and foremost the most important thing, but not able to survive with guys, which means the money is in shambles now. They are buying up now, but it's going to be a round without full utility. There's only 1 Molotov, and that is going to be on Shazam. Then there's an Orc on Config. You know, he doesn't give a damn. It's Config. Let's see if we can make something work with that Orc. But the lack of utility right now on a map like Inferno is the biggest problem OpTic has. It forces them to take these duels. It forces them to play aggressively. And we just seen, you know, they're not winning the duels. Gate once again going inside this boiler area and losing the duel. And it's not like he's doing a mistake because he has to. He doesn't really have the weapon or the utility not to do it. But they're putting themselves in a situation where the odds of them losing the rounds are already, you know, significantly worse or better in that sense before it even started, by the way they're handling the economy and by the way they're buying right now. And that's, again, you know, a mistake, I would say. You know, I feel like OpTic, the more I look at them, the more I watch them play, I feel like it's just their identity and the way they're playing right now that should be adjusted and tuned in a way that it could be so much better with these star players they are. You know, Cajun playing for Astralis and been in major semifinals and major finals before. Config being one of the best players in the world as well. You know, there should be so much more potential here.
Well, this round looks like maybe they're looking to try and show us some of that potential that we talk about so often. Big fan of Config picking up the Org. Guy that doesn't get enough love. Do you think that was an intentional buy from Config? He is someone who likes to pick up the unloved weapons of CSGO.
He is a guy who doesn't give a damn about anything. He just does whatever he wants to do.
That could not be more true. And here he is wrapping up through Banana. He's going to be heading on in. Going to take the fight with Cirque. Does the Org come out trumps in this fight? Of course it does. It's in the hands of Config. He goes ahead and shuts down Cirque. Keeps pushing in. Flash out towards CT, but Fugly isn't able to get anything done. Now it's Ethan. He's looked very, very good tonight, but a 1 versus 3 here would be unreal. The first kill goes his way. Surely no more, but Ethan, a second. It's all down to Stan, and Ethan back against the wall, locks in the round. 3 massive kills, and Ethan's going to be very, very happy with that. 9-5, as NRG have gone full Dolly Parton.
Full Dolly Parton. That was a super sick play from Ethan. Look at this. Look how calm he is in this situation. Just getting the first frag right then Config, you know, then going for the duel right here. Just bringing him down straight away. Last guy has 1 HP. Staying alive, waiting for him to waste his bullets. Drops out, kills Stanislaw, and take advantage of the way CSGO is working with the Pika's advantages and all that kind of stuff. Now Config going out with that scout, being again aggressive, I would say, you know, he has been dominating the banana area. The problem is whenever he doesn't go out, they're not really being able to hold this B bomb side, basically because Stanislaw is not up to par with him. Config though, again, one of the big problems with him, you know, the constant aggression. Instead of just falling back and take that victory, he keeps going for the second and the third frag, and it's not helping them right now. Stanislav, for some reason, feels he has to take a duel as well. Leaves the B bomb side open, and once again, it is NRG in a very favorable position, and they're about to make this first half double digits, and that is too much on Inferno. That's not something I think OpTic can be too proud of.
Yeah, just Shazam's just Shazam left. There we go. Second time around, it's all good. And this would be just an unreal clutch, but it's one that you imagine he has no hope heading into. Don't like to write off rounds before they're all said and done, but that is one I felt safe in doing so. 10-5 half for NRG as they emerge victorious there. For OpTic, that is a pretty devastating blow. However, now they'll be moving into the T side. Perhaps they can use Config a little bit more here. They can use some of the players that are performing tonight. Shazam as well, I think, did have a very good showing. They can maybe try and use those two powerhouses of this roster to spearhead the offensive. Perhaps there's one silver lining we can at least look to.
Yeah, I mean, Config is the guy, and I feel like we have seen him play both on Mirage and both on Inferno now, and you can see he's just on point. He doesn't really get any anti-hero kills because it's always himself being on the pistols, so all the frags he has is very high impact frags against rifles and all that kind of stuff. So Config is definitely there. He needs help from his team, and I feel like at this point, it's the individuals on OpTic that needs to step up, because the way they're playing right now, it invites them to take all the duels, it invites them to play the type of Counter-Strike, so they gotta be ready for it, and they gotta step up to that level. Shazam getting a frag and getting a second one on Cirque as well, and that changes the round completely. Now OpTic is falling back from this A bomb side, bringing the bomb to B, and Shazam is going down to Breeze, and that opens a little bit of possibility right here. Now OpTic has to be very careful of not throwing this one away. Breeze is afraid that it's going to get flanked in. Now Gate going down to Fockley, and all of a sudden this round is completely open once again, despite them being up 5 versus 3. They really haven't taken control of the round. Bomb is yet to go down, and Breeze is in a position where he just has to wait for his mate. Now Cajun going down to Fockley. Stanislav getting a refrag, and it's all of a sudden falling apart for them. Stanislav going down to Fockley again. Breeze bringing down Config, and what looked so great in the beginning all of a sudden turned out to be a disaster for OpTic Gaming. Not able to capitalize off the fact that Sam got 2 very fine frags on Banana, and here we are. Another pistol round for NRG, another one in the head for OpTic, and at this point they gotta force up in this one, and they gotta win this one. Otherwise, I think it's gonna be very tough for them to mount in this comeback.
Yeah, now OpTic, they've usually been pretty good in these force buys. Will we see that come into fruition now? Would be fantastic if it does. I mean, these games are so important to OpTic. You know, to give you some context, this is a team obviously that, you know, want to secure their spot in the finals at Dallas, and they, you know, every win becomes important at this point in time, right? NRG, they've already locked in their spot at Dallas. Admittedly, they're still playing for seed, right? But what, you know, I mean, for OpTic, these are so much more important to these guys, and they know it. We know it. The pressure's well and truly on. And in this force, they've got 2 players over here towards long. Could be walking away of Daps, and oh, he mops them both up. Config and Cajun just get shredded down by the MP9. Now Shazam's able to answer back with 1, but that's it. It is just Gade left. I think I don't know if I'm right here. Might have gotten a little bit more. But I think he was sitting on 1 kill last time I saw. Maybe it's 2 now.
Yeah, he's been having a rough game.
Yeah, 2 kills.
We're talking about this inconsistency, and I mean, I would say Gate has the potential to be, I don't know if I want to say one of the best players in Denmark, but definitely up there in the future. I feel like when I see him play, and when he does good, you can see the war skill he has, you can see the aim he has, and you can see the how do you say, the intuition he has for the game.
Are there any hidden gem like Danish players that we don't really see much of in the pro scene, maybe that you know from being involved in it?
I mean, I would say Gate would be one of them, and then I would say there's this guy called Stavn from Fragsters. He just played I think it was a tournament in Kiev this weekend where they did manage to beat both Gambit and Virtus Pro. As we see Cirque and Breeze getting some easy frags right here. So there's a lot of hidden gems in Denmark and a lot of talents up and coming. And we are good at Counter-Strike for some reason.
Yeah, you guys definitely are. Apart from Risk.
Apart from, yeah, he's not too good.
If he's watching, now Risk, if you're watching, you think you're good at CS, you're not.
You're not. No, I'll tell him next time I see him. Now we see this is gonna be the last chance for OpTic now if they want to mount a comeback. It is at a point where they have to win this one. They can't let NRG get to a bigger lead than this. It is already 8 rounds that differs them, and at this point, I don't know what they have to do. Let Config do his job, and there we go. Config doing his job, getting 2 frags on Banana. And completely opening up this B bomb side. What they do not know is there's still 2 guys in here. Config is running around with a knife, and there we go. He goes down to Depths. And now what OpTic may think is that it's only Depths with an MP9, which would make them go in and take this duel, which would be a mistake because there's another guy hiding on the bomb side. Depths getting another frag on Cajun. Now he's doing everything he can, and once again, OpTic are not able to capitalize off the situation they have. Breeze has been hiding on the side the entire time. And for some reason, OpTic are opting to go back, and that is the smart move as Stanislaw is flanking Fugly and bringing down this 2 versus 1 scenario. Breeze actually played the picture perfectly on the B bomb side. They just didn't took the bait, didn't go in, even though Depths did everything he could to make it work. Now OpTic, they have to convert this into a round win, otherwise that would be a huge disappointment. But even the rounds that should be easy for them after Config opens with 2 insane frags on Banana, they get messy and they get scrambled in, and Breeze still have a chance in this one, Harry.
Yeah, 1v2, and he has looked crisp tonight, but this one's not meant to be. Gage just peeks into that, you know, is able to find him, catch it, so many angles to check. And that is going to be a 6th round for OpTic. Now, that was the first rifle round. They're able to get it done. There's still a long way to go for this comeback to happen. But this is a team, you know, a lot of people, you can very quickly start to rally behind. And I think, you know, all it takes is a few key rounds to go their way, and maybe we see them come back into this. But other than that, it has been the NRG show. Fugly gonna get tagged for 2. I don't know how that even happened. How do you get tagged for 2? I don't know what he was hit with, but it wasn't much. So he's gonna be feeling fine.
It must have been a water pistol or something like that. I'm glad you say that NRG are ruling the show and emphasizing the team effort in this one. I think there's 3 frags between the bottom fragger and the top fragger, so that's very interesting. And currently the top fragger in your picture being Depths, once again having a great game. We saw it on Mirage, we see it now. Depths is able to frag as well, and that's interesting, you know, and that's another perspective to this NRG lineup when he's on fire as well, when he's feeling it and able to take the duels against OpTic and winning them. Then I leave no chances to OpTic winning this one. Cajun going down as well. He's had a very rough game, a very rough series in particular. And OpTic again, they have to count everything on Stanislaw, Sam, and Gate, and those 3 players haven't really been showing up in this game. So Ethan is playing this picture perfectly, getting the information, falling back, having a Molotov in his hand, putting down right there so they can't go through it. If they do decide to it, they will take some damage. They won't, they're waiting. And now Depths is coming in through the smoke, hopefully with a flash or something like that. We'll see about that now. Nope, without a flash. And that's a mistake right there, Depths. You didn't have to do that at all. You could just have waited, fallen back, and it could have been a 4 versus 3 retake scenario. Or you could have waited for a flash at least. You didn't do that. You got overconfident, and all of a sudden it's a 2 versus 2 scenario. Stanislaw on AJP, Gate on 36. Stanislaw doesn't give a damn about that. He picks up Cirque, and it's all up to Breeze now, clutching this in a 1 versus 2. He do not know where they are. He doesn't have any utility, so I would say already by now it's going to be more or less impossible. That said, though, if he grabs the bomb and lurks out a guy, then there could be a chance of him going into it. Nope, says Stanislaw with 8 HP. He got the 4th frag of the round and keeps OpTic in the game for the first time. NRG, again, being a little bit pressured. No money, they have to save, but it should be only 1 save, and then they should be back into it. If we do take a look at the scoreboard, as I was talking about right now, Fugly with 13 kills being the bottom fragger. Top fraggers are Cirque, Breeze, Depths combined with 17. It is NRG playing as a team. It is NRG performing as a team. And it is OpTic scrambling by. Gate having 4 frags right now, not enough, or 5 frags. And Config sitting alone up there by himself. You know, it has to be more like a team effort. And once again, we just have to stress out, you know, you can't really base a team around 1 player, or you can, but he has to be cold 0 then. And then you have to have some stones to fall back on, or some rocks to fall back on, and they don't have that right now. Simple as that.
Well, here it is. Here's the man that you do love to see. Ooh, he's going to get tagged through the smoke, has to go out and retreat. In the meantime, Gade out here towards the top of mid, joined by Shazam. I think Shazam's been very, very good in this map. He is kind of a little bit inconsistent, but right now he's definitely stepping up to the mark, it feels like. He's out here with Gade. Gade having a pretty poor performance in comparison to what we know we can see from him. That's the thing that stresses you out so much about the inconsistency that he faces. And he's here trying to sell this fake. If he'd found that kill there, that would have been a good one to find. Obviously, they're only up against the pistols anyway, but they can still do damage. He's at least stopped these players from rotating. The only issue is if Cirque's able to find him, all kind of came down to timing there, but Gade is just able to slip away. 35 seconds left on the clock. as now they throw out the smokes, flashes, and Molotovs in towards this B-bomb site. That's going to force Daps out, and actually it just forces him into the grave. So now it's Ethan behind the fountain. He's able to light up one, but that will be it. Config instantly trades. You imagine the bomb's going to go down. This is going to be a very, very clean round. Gade can find some rotating players as they look to head back from this B-bomb site. If he goes down and gives up the AK, then, you know, it's pretty sloppy. He's able to get one. They're still hunting him. Ooh, that's nice. There we go. Gade's maybe waking up a little bit. He misses that first spray on... I can't remember who it was, but I think it was maybe onto Daps. No, it wasn't. He burnt in the site. But yeah. I think it was onto Breezy. But yeah, he misses that, and you're a bit like, ooh, Gade, that was sloppy. But, you know, then he hits these next 2 shots, which is just lovely.
That is, in fact, just lovely. OpTic bringing it to 13-8. There's only 5 rounds between them now. We're able to catch up on 3 of them already, 3 in a row now from OpTic. Let's see if they can keep doing it. As you said, yeah, Shazam has been having a decent game, especially on the CT side. He was one of the only reasons they ended up winning any round. So let's see if he can continue that form on the T side. Bring down Depth to 19 HP. That was a sick peak right there. That was basically just a pre-fire through the wall. Maybe a little bit unlucky from Depth to be in that position, but just so happens to be. And now Depth being brought down. Once again, we see NRG without too much utility, without the best buy, 2 FAMASs and a lack of utility. I'm not sure I understand why they're buying up on this one. Just wait until you have all the utility you want to. Now, it's up to Breeze to defend this one. They don't need utility if you just have a good aim. Fuckley is agreeing with that one, getting the first crack, getting the second one as well. It's going to be back and forth in a 3 versus 3 scenario now. Just missing up an opportunity on Cert. And bomb goes down by Cajun right here. Stanislaw getting 1 and 2 frags, which consolidates this round into OpTic's favor. And if I were Depths, I would break up that AWP and I would just run away straight away. And that's what he's going to do right now as well. So OpTic finally showing some teeth. You know, it is this fast-paced Counter-Strike where you just explode onto a side, coming out of AFs, coming out of short, and, you know, winning the duels, basically. Fucking were able to put up a fight. Neither were Breeze or Nath in this one. And that cost them the round eventually. So, you know, only 4 rounds is the difference right now. They are being forced into another safe energy. So we could potentially be seeing a 13-10 score in a minute or 2, which is definitely a close game, Hell.
Yeah, I didn't see this being so close. It's a nice shot from Daps to hold on to the AWP. That gives them something to work with at least into the next round. And, yeah, I mean, interestingly enough as well, it feels like it's kind of the collection of Stan, KJMB, and Shazam really, you know, kind of binding together to find these last few rounds. Doesn't even really feel like OpTic had to have Config play into it all that much just yet. He does currently sit top of the board for OpTic, and you know, you still feel like he's got more to give. So they're going to go into a double AWP T side, which isn't by no means the most conventional buy for Inferno. But you know, you said to yourself, Config just sort of does what he wants. So he's gone ahead and brought that out. Now up against the pistols, that's something that maybe they could come to regret. Daps has the AWP over here, and he's already picked up Config. That's an AWP down at the top of Banana, and you can already see that Ethan's come rotating in. He's going to be around to pick that up. So this now kind of leaves KJMB and Shazam in a bit of an awkward spot. They want to keep an eye on that AWP. They want to make sure that no one from NRG can swoop in. You know, one of these pistol players picks that up, and suddenly they're 100 times more deadly. Shazam's been able to drop out Daps, and you can see that Ethan's desperately trying to pick it up, but he does just retreat back to get his IGL AWP instead. Takes up position now back at the bomb site. The bomb starts to rotate up towards this A site, but Gade uses that duel. Luckily enough, Cajun's there to restore some order to this round. And this is still dangerous, though. These pistols up close, they're doing a great job of closing these angles. Stan, he's able to line up the first and the second. It's KJB to help him out. And just Ethan left. He's going to look to hold on to the AWP. So they make it a little bit costly, but the round still goes the way of OpTic.
And that is, in fact, the most important thing right now. Just to get the rounds on the board, putting themselves on double digits now is OpTic Gaming. And for the first time in this game, in this series, I would say we have a game on our hand. And I do feel that OpTic is finally showing some teeth. You know, they're showing this ultra-aggressive side on the T side. They're showing this ultra-aggressive and fast-paced T side actually working out for them. And again, if that's how they opt to play, if that's how they want to do it, you know, if you have some very basic and some very secure and working flashes behind it, then it can work, especially with such explosive players as they have on the team. I do feel, though, I need to see an extra layer, you know, because I do believe NRG is good enough to figure out a solution, you know, make sure that they buy up all the utilities now. They have all the money they need. They have all the Molotovs they need. And if I were NRG right now, just make sure to use that very wisely and see what OpTic can do late in the round, you know. If you force them to play slow, what you can do on Inferno by using all your utility in the beginning of the round, then you sort of like force OpTic to go into your game or go into a game they're not feeling comfortable with, where they have to do a late execute or something like that. So I'm looking forward to see NRG, you know, maybe trying that version instead of constantly going for the duels as well, even though they have been winning the majority of them. It will be okay to change the way you approach the game by now. We'll see though. Shazam seeking for a frag in middle here. All by himself, no refrag potential whatsoever. I'm not sure I like this, but there's 3 guys ready to go out of the AFs, and it's going to be one of those explosive rounds once again. Breeze getting the first one, Fugly number 2. Actually, it is Fugly getting the 2 first, and now Breeze coming in, and there we go, being shot down straight away. Stanislaw and Shazam left alone from OpTic Gaming, and it's an almost impossible scenario to be in. Stanislaw getting the first frag right here in Cirque, though. Not able to get the second one, of Fugly coming in with his 3rd frag, and now Nate coming in with his first of the round as well. And there we go. That's how cricket goes if you play this very explosive, fast-paced Counter-Strike. It either works straight away or it doesn't work at all. And it didn't work at all.
It did not work at all. That is very, very true. OpTic, they'd be feeling pretty devastated after that round, you know, to have fought so hard to pull it back, you know, to a 10-13 scoreline and then lose just so soul-crushingly in that one round, you know, everyone dying immediately. So now they've had to go for the force. They've put everything they've got into this round. Stan's got a bit extra into the next, so if they lose, he can throw one rifle over, but that is it. This is do or die for OpTic. They've gone for aggression up towards the top of mid. Ethan is very, very close to Config, and of course Config wins that. CZ prevails up close. He's going to double down, and that's the B-bomb site cracked wide open. Config's done it. Shazam, he's going to be able to drop out Cirque. They seem to be a bit at ends as to where to send this bomb, but they finally decide that the B-bomb site is the right choice. Fugly could get caught off guard by Gade here as he wraps around. It's all going to come down to chance, and they just miss each other. So Fugly's afforded an opportunity to save this AK, and if both these players save, we can see them buying in the next round. OpTic, though, they've somehow created even more space, an 11th to their name, all on the back of a nice swift 2K from Config up top Banana.
It's just about to say, it's not really OpTic creating space, it's Config creating space. Once again, getting a double entry frag on Banana. Not sure I understand why Ethan and Debs felt the need to go out there and be so aggressively. Again, it's working for them. They know they're facing not the best buy ever. They know they don't have all the utility, and they know they're only 1 round away from winning the game, because had they won this one, OpTic would have been on 0 money whatsoever. Now it's the other way around. Now NRG are being pressured once again, and I'm not sure I understand the decision making by Debs and Ethan to be aggressive. That may be their way to play Banana, and that's fair enough. But when you face a guy like Config, who now for the 3rd time in this second half have been able to get a double entry frag on you maybe want to reconsider the way you play it, or at least take some precautions for what Config is doing. So giving him the M4 and letting him kill Debs as the second guy was probably a mistake in that sense.
Well, more space created. OpTic, they have a tiny bit of breathing room. That suffocation feeling that they were feeling from NRG has been eased ever so slightly. It's a 3-man hold towards the top of Banana, so what happened previously can't happen again. And oh gosh, Config, he's going to perish in the fire and flame. You do hate to see that. That is fantastic utility usage to nullify a strat that OpTic have been running over and over again. The double Molotov, the nade, all of it picture perfect to net an early man advantage for NRG. And if you're OpTic, the worst thing there is just that feeling that, you know, you can't do anything to trade that back. That there's no opportunity for that to happen. So now they have to go and create that opportunity. They have to go and find it. And that's why we see 4 players currently grouping up over here towards A. The only downside is, look at this. Cirque's been positioned up the top of Banana. He's there with his AWP. It's such a strong position because now it's afforded him the extra player in the form of Ethan rotating over here to reinforce this A hold. This is going to be a very hard take for OpTic. First man out from the balcony, that's Stanislaw, and he's able to win that fight. So maybe they're under the chance. Cajun B going to drop out Breezy, and Daps. Oh, it's on Daps once again. They take their time. They've spotted him out, and Cajun shuts him down. Gade in the back finishes things off, and Cirque has to run for the hills. It's going to be 12-14 as OpTic, they manage to find themselves another round.
That was very poor played by NRG right there. They did everything correct in the beginning. Depths getting the first frag of the round, putting them up 5 versus 4, and then they did a stack on the A bomb side, putting on 4 guys as we see Cajun bringing down Cirque, doing everything right, and for some reason Depths left his little corner in there, and for some reason they kept fighting and fighting and fighting. Stanislaw got Fuckley down in pit. That was a great first frag to open up the side, but still there were 3 guys left, and they didn't manage to do anything right there. They could have set up a very strong crossfire, but for some reason they got nothing out of it, and now they're giving OpTic a great way into this round. Config went down to the Molotov Depths in the beginning of the round. Now he's buying up a P90. He's been playing with the AK, the M4, a P90, an AUG, and I believe also only a CC in a buy round. So this guy, as we spoke about, he doesn't give a damn. He just does whatever feels right to him. And apparently playing with a P90 in Antico is what he want to do right now. So let's see. Whatever that works, gets 1 frag, then goes down. Typical config. And all of a sudden it looks a little bit dangerous right here for the OpTic guys. They cannot afford to lose this one. Stanislaw being brought down to 16 HP. He managed to survive, now going down Cajun. So it's a 2 versus 2 against 2 USPs. It's way closer than it should have been. Now Depths is all by himself. He has 1 frag to his name already, and he's just going to gamble that they went back to a bomb sign, which is not the case, unfortunately, for Depths. So this could be one of the a long round where we know the winner already. As soon as the bomb is being planted, it's over for Depths. He has no kit, no armor, no nades, no guns, no nothing. And he's basically just gambling on them going towards this A bomb side. I like the idea, but it's not going to happen, buddy. You're going to lose this round, and it's going to be OpTic on 13 rounds towards the 14 from NRG. A great little comeback they're monitoring right here. And I do feel it's on the back of them playing better than we saw in the first half and playing better than we saw in the beginning of this half. But also NRG not able to capitalizing of them making the right calls and actually getting the first frags. They're just not able to convert the rounds into wins right now, which is a little bit unorthodox for NRG, who has been very good at doing that. Getting the first frag, then falling back and play it safe and cleverly, at least compared to the rest of the NA scene in some of those scenarios.
The one thing I will say is that NRG, they seem to be a team that can do very, very well in just like grinding out a win, where it's like, it might not be the most cleanest thing, or sometimes it's because of like a very big comeback where they've fallen behind early on. But like they're a team that in OT, it feels like they maybe kind of start to excel a bit. Yep. Not have that drop off. It feels like maybe they refine things more because we've seen them with numerous overtime victories with teams versus like SK, Liquid, Cloud9. We've seen them do that in a lot of these online leagues. They're pretty good, but when you kind of start to slog a game out, you're going through all these rounds, and you see so many teams starting to become fatigued, especially the lesser experienced teams, right? But even right at the top end, I mean, there was a time recently where SK played something like 6 games in one day, all online, and that can be pretty brutal for anyone. Really started to see it there. Whereas it doesn't feel like you quite get that with NRG. So I feel like if this game goes to OT, even though OpTic have gone on a fantastic run to bring it back to that, I don't think you can just write NRG out. They have looked very, very polished in that sense.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. They've showed some character as a team already now, and let's not forget they're still a young team. It's a team that's been together for 3 or 4 months in total, I believe, if even that long. So still young and still a lot to learn and lots to improve on. So it's great to see. Now Depths putting down Cajun and Gate on HP. Config is hunting the frag, not able to find it though. Great start for the NRG guys, putting in some damage, but also receiving some damage themselves. Now the big problem for them is the utility. Once again, they don't have too much left already now into the round, and Config is desperately seeking for this opening. He is feeling it right now. He's going for those entry frags, and it's not going to pan out too well for him now. There's a smoke covering off the vision for him, so he can't really see anything. He's just trying to spam through, hopes to get lucky, and he may does get lucky. We see this nice little boost on the third box right here on the back side. We see a lot of players using that, so you basically get the first frag and then fall down. And it's not an angle that Config is going to pre-fire. We'll see how it goes though. And there we go. I spoke too soon. Config is just too good at this game. Gate helping him getting down Depths. And once again, we see OpTic completely disabling this B bomb side. And as good as Config were to handle the banana, as good he is to open it as well. He's a guy that just thrives well banana, apparently. And we often joke about, Freiberg being the king of the banana. And fair enough, that was 5 years ago or 4 years ago from now on. He is definitely not that guy anymore. Config, though, he's a guy that really thrives well in this area. He always goes for the peaks. He always believes, that he can just take down a guy no matter what happens, no matter what he's facing, and no matter what is going on. Sometimes you see him stand in fire or flying nades around him. He still gets the frag and still gets something out of it. So one of those players that you you really want on your team when you play Inferno, and you just want to position him around Banana because he's going to make something work every single time. Now, focus on the game. 14-14, OpTic caught up. Monstering a great comeback here, and it is NRG on the back heels. They did manage to save 3 weapons, which means they should be forcing up in this one, dropping around weapons and buying up. Should be able to get most of the utility as well, a few kits on them as well. So, you know, a do or die round for NRG right here. If they lose this one, they don't have money for anything in the last round, which put OpTic in a great position. On the other hand, NRG winning this one means that OpTic still can buy the next one. So everything is on the board right now for NRG, and we're going to see how this one pans out. Whether it's going to be another fast, explosive round, or OpTic may want to slow down a bit. Nope, says Config.
Yeah, that is a big start, and it's been such a battle for OpTic to get back to this scoreline. 14-14, and all the pressure now falls onto NRG. They had such a comfortable lead. It was a 10-5 half, if you recall. It even got up to 13-5 at one point in time. And now Config looks to strip that away from them. He's in with 2. Cirque's going to answer back as best he can. Now, I called him the Bulgarian bloodhound earlier on. He has to try and smell out the danger here on Banana. There is still one man there. That's Cajun B. But the rest of OpTic have rotated away. And actually, Breezy just missed the timing on Gade slipping by over towards Arch. Now he's in the back line, and they've got no idea. Breezy's dropped the bomb. That could be big, but it's this flank from Gade that I think is going to be even bigger. He catches Fugly unaware, and now it's Cirque. 1 versus 3. He wants to try and hold on to the AWP, give them something to fight with into the next round. It's going to go 15-14. OpTic, they've done it. They've reached match point. After a 13-5 scoreline at one point in time in favor of NRG, they've gone on a massive run to pull this one back.
They sure have, and once again off the back of Config, coming in with the first kill, and Debs following up with a second one as well. This guy is uncontrollable right now, and pretty sure it's a good thing that we're casting this one this late compared to European times right now. All the North players should be asleep, but if they saw what Config is delivering right here for OpTic, they're definitely missing that. You know, if you look towards North right now, a team that is not performing the way they should be, and really haven't been performing ever since Config left the team. They need that X factor. They need Config to go in there and open up the rounds, create the space for the fundamental strong players to come in. The North has, you know, and it's a big shame to see, for me at least, as a Danish fan, as a Counter-Strike fan. I do believe Config was way better used in North than he is in OpTic.
For me, North is a weird one, because I just feel like the team is cursed. Like, it feels like no matter who they have, for some reason, they never get results.
You could say so, yeah.
But that's the topic for the EU guys. And I think they can debate the curses and hexes put on the North organization. Here it is, the round 30. We've gone the full distance. OpTic, they're looking good to win this out in regulation. It didn't look like it could be done. It was a 10-5 half in favor of NRG. Never at any point did I think we would see the full 30 rounds come out, but that is the Config effect. As OpTic, they've hauled it back to this, and now they stand ready to try and split the series 1-1 with NRG. This game so important for them if they want to secure their spot in Dallas. They've been able to open up this round.
And guess who it was?
It was Config. Stan's going to get one more. Now it's Cirque and Fugly. Last 2 players alive for NRG. Fugly left, and he's going to fall. OpTic, they managed to get it done 16-14. They will be splitting the series 1-1 with NRG. A dominant performance of NRG in map number 1, but OpTic, they pull it back over on Inferno.
They sure do. Config is pulling it back, and I think this is a great showcase of why Config is considered, if not the best Danish players, then one of them at least. The only one who probably can go toe-to-toe with him is Device, and I do feel that Config is finally starting to feel comfortable here in NA, and it seems to be very easy for him.
Do you feel comfortable, though, Jacob?
I've been better.
Okay. Well, now that we've got that settled, thank you very much for your contributions tonight, guys. Harry, that means you too. Okay, so let's go on and try to break this bad boy down. OpTic NRG going the full distance here. What changed between the maps?
I mean, not that much initially, I'd say, because we did see NRG get up to a 13-5 lead there at that point. And again, what really brought OpTic back was not necessarily that OpTic turned things around in terms of finding opening frags or creating necessarily excellent positions for themselves to actually win out rounds. It's NRG still just continuing on getting good starts to the rounds, but then not being able to close it out. I guess got to give credit where credit is due. OpTic do have a solid approach as to how they wanted to play those, I guess, at a deficit rounds. They actually do execute it properly towards both of the bomb sites in that many ways, but it does help to have a player like Config who has the ability to pretty much clear out the entirety of a bomb defense within 2 seconds, and they just kind of go from there.
What was it that Pim said during the game? He was like, the goal of every team should be to have a Config on their squad. And it's just like, yep, that makes sense. Yeah, Config had a sick game. I think this also is a massive collapse for NRG. It's not going to have a huge impact on their season, obviously. But again, they win the pistol round, they get those first 3 rounds, and then they only get one more CT round for the rest of the half. So just both teams trading games where they have terrible defensive halves. And for OpTic, I mean, it's just a better, we could talk Config all day long. Stanislaw had a great game, just a better effort from the supporting cast as well, from everyone else on the team. It's much deeper, so you're able to recover. What we saw in Mirage is they couldn't recover from a lot of situations because Cajun B wasn't having a great game. No one else was really firing on all cylinders. Stanislaw wasn't having this level of impact. So, everyone took a breather. Maybe went to Taco Bell, got a Mountain Dew, got a soft taco.
A soft taco.
Yeah.
Okay, a Mountain Dew and a soft taco. That tickles Jason's fancy
Number
every
10,
time.
Cheesy Gordita Crunch.
Oh, yes.
Been getting the same meal at Taco Bell for the past 10 years of my life, and I've never been disappointed.
In a long time, and I usually regret it when I do, but it's damn good when I'm eating it.
Yeah.
I can tell you that right now. Almost as good
And when you wake
as
up.
the ESEA 128 tick servers. That's right. You can only play on those servers if you over to ESEA.net or play.esea.net. If you're old school and you don't know how to change things around, if you want to stick to what you know, that's exactly what it should be. Play.esea.net. And just like that, boys, what do you say we round the show out?
Sounds like a
I would
great
love
idea.
that, actually.
You guys like that idea?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Fair enough. Let's go ahead and look at today's results for North America. Of course, we can just very, very briefly look at this. Halvor, make it brief, bud.
Yeah, NRG started off today with 2 quick wins versus Complexity. We also saw them close out the night, not with 2 dubs to their name, but in splitting the series versus OpTic. So that does mean they've qualified for Dallas, so congratulations to NRG. Big step for them. And then in the middle matchup, we saw Splice and Dignitas dueling it out at the very bottom, opposite end of the spectrum. And Dignitas picking up their first win of the season, so fun times all around. Everyone got to take part in the fun today, except for Complexity, I guess.
Well, of course, our
Way to
hot
leave
match of
them
the
out.
week was this OpTic NRG matchup. And as you can see, if you didn't see, here is a play from Shazam, getting some AWP kills. And quite frankly, it was just a good, how do I say this, turnaround for OpTic to have won the second map.
Yeah, sick recovery, like not just a turnaround overall from map to map, but also just in the game itself. At a big deficit at one point and clawing themselves back into it. So very nice, not an easy task to do against a very good NRG team. So you do like to see that, and they're also another team while NRG has solidified their spot in the playoffs. OpTic's still fighting for it, but they've kind of solidified at least a position in that top 6 for the moment. Yeah. And they don't look like, you have teams like Cloud9, Luminosity, and SK battling out for 5 and 6. It seems like OpTic at the moment is pretty secure in this 3rd seed.
Well, clinching playoff berths has been Team Liquid and NRG. Congratulations to both, but now the hunt is on for the remaining 4 slots. Who do we think's doing it, guys?
I think we actually, the top 6 right now is the top 6 we're going to see in Dallas. I think there's going to be some adjustments to who ends up where. I think Renegades actually have a pretty good chance of getting a top 4 seed, potentially a 3rd actually, if they can keep this kind of current form up.
And you can't count out Dignitas. Okay, yeah, you can.
I mean, they're on if you take the last games played.
That's some good jokes
Last
tonight.
games played,
Jeez.
they're on
Thanks.
100% winning streak. They're doing stuff.
They're doing stuff, and guess what we're doing? We're going to EU. Let's take a look at the EU games, or excuse me, the NA match day for tomorrow. Jason, I
Yep.
told you, stop
Another
telling me the
joke,
wrong
yeah.
stuff, man.
I actually think we're going to see some shuffling with Renegades in their current position, and maybe even OpTic dropping down. I think Cloud9 and SK still have some ways to catch up. So that's a big game right there, Renegades versus Cloud9. SK versus Complexity should be kind of a cakewalk for SK. And then Ghost versus Dignitas
Hot new
to
battle.
end it.
Hot new battle.
Dignitas and Ghost.
That little alien face against Ghosts. Who wins? That should be a movie.
It should be. It
We
might
have Cowboys
actually.
versus aliens. We could have the
Yeah.
sequel.
We were just talking about that. Tell you what, we're going to go through this one rather quickly. You're going to note some numbers here, mainly the one that is always a common one. 16. That would mean that that team won the match. My goodness, can
Unless
you
it's
believe it?
Navi versus Strauss that went into overtime, in which
thanks,
case it's a
Jason.
19.
Thank you so much for your contribution. Yes, you will see that has been the barn burner of the day over there. But with that, Space Soldiers has secured a ticket to Dallas, Texas. Congratulations to them as well.
That's mind-boggling.
It's
First team in EU
mind-boggling.
to do so, as expected, right?
Well, and then Navi's up there as well. We've seen them struggle a lot. So
And then Fnatic down at the bottom. I don't know. It just doesn't make. It's not a very clear
Counter-Strike
picture.
today is a weird thing. We have to consider the fact that it's the top 7 in EU as well that make it through, not just top 6. So North currently sitting in that last playoff spot. That could change.
Tomorrow's matches: North and Nip, Envious and Fnatic, and FaZe. My
LDLC.
goodness, FaZe is closing it out.
Versus LDLC. The
And you
French
love
is
it.
at the bottom.
You love it.
Love to see it.
You know what I love to see? The end of the show, because that's what we're about to be doing right here. That does it for us here at the Xfinity Analyst Desk. We're going to go ahead and fly it out of here. And with that being said, thanks for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow at the same great time, the same
wondering what you were
great
doing this whole
place.
time, yeah.
See you later.